All right, welcome to this edition of the OC Show. I'm your host, Donnie Henderson. Whoops, I'm messing up my trademark. There we go. Now I'm ready to go. I'm your
Yeah.
host, Donnie Henderson, OC Show. Um, we are about to do the AFC North, today, and I got another special guest today, my man, Uncle Reggie. Uncle Reggie's in the house today.
All
My
right.
guy. My God, he is my uncle through marriage, but this dude is a great dude. He has been an example in more ways than one, more ways that he don't even know. And I
Praise
appreciate
God.
him, and I appreciate him coming on and joining me. What's up, Uncle Reggie?
Hey man, how you doing, man? Thanks for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be a participant. I am so excited about all that you're doing. Then everybody loves sports, man. You know what I mean? So it's an easy segment. So
Yeah,
this is easy. Man, I can come off the cuff or go into some research or whatever the case may be. But I'm just excited to be a partaker, and I'm excited for what you're attempting and what you're doing, nephew. You're a great guy, man. You know what I mean? And praise God to you. That's all I got.
appreciate you. I appreciate that very much. Um, when we met, you realize we've been family for like over 20 years now, but
Absolutely.
always like he's kind of what you said before. One of the things that bring people together is sports, and you start, especially with men, you start talking sports. And early on, I learned that you were a Steelers fan, and I was like,
Yes, sir.
well, I ain't got nothing against the Steelers. They got that terrible towel.
This
Yeah.
original towel,
Wait. Is that what towel is that? Is that
That's the
the Super Bowl?
Super Bowl towel, Detroit, Michigan, 2006.
Oh, who gave that to you?
I got that from, oh man, one of my colleagues at the time is a big Pittsburgh Steelers fan, and he actually went to the Super Bowl.
Oh man,
And,
I was
and
that
so
was I think 2006, right?
2006, man,
So
2006.
Kalea and I have been married only about 3 years, but the all the stuff around us surrounding the Super Bowl in Detroit,
Yes,
and
sir.
you know me, especially when it comes to sports in Detroit. I'm a Detroit guy, and just being
Absolutely.
so proud of my city. I don't live there anymore, but being so proud of my city and all the things that are going around in a positive direction, it's a great thing. And that's one of the things that started out having that Super Bowl there, Final Four, all these different things. But we're not here to talk about Detroit. We're not here to talk about anything Detroit. We're talking about not the NFC North, but the AFC North. That's your conference. That's your area of expertise. And we're going to talk about that a little bit. We're going to dive real deep into your team, the Steelers. But just a quick review. The AFC North last season, toughest division in NFL. Everybody over 500 in that division. You got the Ravens 13-4. You had the defending NFL MVP Lamar Jackson. Ravens 13-4. Browns 11-6. Your Steelers 10-7, and the Bengals 9-8. Everybody above 500. That's the toughest conference in the NFL, in my opinion. Do you think that's the toughest conference?
In the AFC, I would say, because each year the conference itself not just knock each other out. They always send at least two, perhaps sometimes three teams to the playoffs. What 2 years ago, 3 years ago, you had Joe Burrows in Cincinnati, rookie or second season, if I'm not mistaken, get to the Super Bowl. And that's big for the AFC North, since the Pittsburgh ain't been to the Super Bowl in God knows how long. Cleveland has not made it yet. And I think Baltimore gets close, but when the playoffs come, the room get too small for them. You know what I mean? They kind of shy away from what made them, what got them successful to the playoffs, and get right there in the playoffs. And I don't, with a coach there for, I can't even remember, Harbaugh. You see what I'm saying? He just seems to me every year, and it's not just get out coach. And I hate to say out coach, but he get there and shy away from what took him there. Stay to your strengths. They have been working for you all year. So, that I have that problem with all coaches when they get to the playoffs. We know it's a one-game season. It ain't the regular season. We all get that. But if it's been proven and no one has been able to stop what you're working with, continue to push it down their throat.
Yeah, at the top of that division, especially with Baltimore, Baltimore had Kansas City at home.
At home.
And Baltimore, for all intents and purposes, they played the game they needed to play. There was just one or two mistakes, and one or two mistakes will kick you right from either going to the Super Bowl or not going to the Super Bowl. Lamar Jackson, I don't think is gonna, trend down anytime soon. So the top of your division with the Ravens is pretty legit, but then you got that mixture of the Browns, Steelers, and Bengals. And let's just jump right into your team. The Pittsburgh Steelers signed Russell Wilson during the offseason. Russell Wilson, whether you like him or not, no matter what happens this season, demands a Hall of Fame. Won a Super Bowl, came within a yard of winning another Super Bowl. Russell Wilson's the guy. The kind of more curious thing is that then they signed Justin Fields. Mm-hmm. Now, as a Detroit Lions fan, I'm glad Justin Fields is gone because I thought Justin Fields was trending way up. Justin Fields is going to have a future in this league.
Yes.
But it's real curious to have Russell Wilson, starting quarterback last year with the Seahawks, Justin Fields, last year starting quarterback with the Bears. What are your thoughts on those two quarterbacks? And now we have Tomlin coming forward saying that Russell Wilson is the guy. What are your thoughts on that whole situation?
Well, my thoughts it always goes back to Mike Tomlin. He needs an OC. And he needs an innovative young OC and allow them to grow and prosper as an OC. He continued getting these stalemates and these individuals in this offensive coordinator, and it ain't because he hasn't had weapons and players on that side of the field. Okay, I think he done a good job because he had absolutely nothing with Kenny Pickett. Then you had who was behind Kenny Pickett? I'm so sorry. Can't think of the young
man's name. I can't think of my man's name, but
he's a good bridge quarterback, but that's all he may be at best. Okay, Kenny Pickett I wouldn't have even chose him as our quarterback, but he was a hometown guy, hometown college guy. You had film, you had 4 years of film on him. So you knew what you was getting when you got him. And I think that was a wasted draft choice. So Justin Fields, I like Justin Fields because he's young. Second of all, he's coachable and he's with a stable organization. So that's an uptick for him. Russell Wilson, I like him because Sean Payton kind of threw him on the bus. Because
he threw him under the bus. I'm glad you said that.
He threw him on the bus. He was disrespectful to Russell Wilson, first and foremost, a proven veteran. Okay? If that wasn't your guy, he should have been honest. I think he's a liar for how he treated. And then he took the young man and he publicly made him a skeptical on the field. Okay? And for Russell Wilson, he has a great heart of humility because you just can't do me that way. Okay? Like I said, he was with Seattle, he was one player from being a Super Bowl champion twice. Then the narrative has been totally different for him. Okay? Mm-hmm. But he was also, you had to give respect for Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll and Mike Tomlin basically almost coached the same way. Defense, special teams, run the ball. Okay? And they had the hogs to do that. But they had something on defense that was special that always kept them in the game or blew the game open for them. Okay? But I think Russell is in a unique position if he can stay healthy. But it all goes back to, I have to go back to this, the offensive coordinator, the offensive line. He ain't the same Russell. Okay? And when I say that, he needs 4 or 5 seconds, man. He got to have it. And that's all you really get in this league. But when you take that, with that rush away from 4 to 5 down to 3 to 4, he ain't got enough time to see the field properly. And both of them are quarterbacks that utilize their legs. They audible out. They can make a play out of something, okay? Justin Fields, I think because he's up on the maturity of Mike Tomlin, he can develop even better as a pocket passer, but don't be so dogmatic and trying to make him something that he's actually not, but he capable of doing because they done it in Philly with your boy. What's your boy down there in Philly?
Hurts.
Hurts, you see. So it can be done. Okay, but he's in the right place to do it because he got stability. You look at the organization of the Bears; they have been horrible, and every 3 to 4 years they change the coaches anyway. So that means a total new regime, total new concept that players have to adapt and play up under. I think Mike Tomlin has that credibility for longevity, but he needs to be more innovative when it comes down to his offense because it's stagnant, it's stale, and it's predictable. And he in that north-south, that's all they got. And he don't have a vertical game that can free up his talent and get them the ball. That's why that boy that's now for Johnson that's down, I think now for Panthers. He was so frustrated last year. You had the running back. What's that young man's name?
Your running back?
Yeah.
Oh, sure. I'm pulling up your roster right now because I don't know who you guys' running back is right now, but
from out of Georgia, young man, he was so frustrated, but he was a professional. He didn't spew that venom, because losing ain't easy for people.
Right.
Okay. Especially when you've been winning all your life and you get here. And then he has seen better results. Okay. Najee Harris.
Not yet. Now there you go. Najee Harris, because you guys got Cordell Patterson now.
Cordell Patterson. You see, that's a running, and see, because that's gonna help his quarterbacks, both of them quarterbacks, but the line play is gonna be critical. Now, being able to run, that takes pressures off. You just can't put 8 people in the box. So that takes pressure off on Russell Wilson. But they got to get time enough to get the ball down the field. And Arthur Smith, as the OC, former head coach of Atlanta, he had all that talent down there in Atlanta. Now Atlanta done moved on. We're gonna see. You'll see.
So maybe he can be able to concentrate on the offensive side of the ball as trying to do a whole team. Because
absolutely.
Matt Canada wasn't doing it for y'all last year, but
he didn't.
Did Mike Tomlin make the right choice? Russell Wilson or Justin? Did he make the right choice?
And see, that's another thing that I was mentioning to somebody earlier about proper leadership. Because when you relinquish your authority to somebody, you got to have somebody in that position who can connect to men, who can manage talent, and know what the talent that he has and devise a system that they will benefit the talent pool that he got, instead of devising a system and hoping the talent come up to the system. It just ain't like that unless you got them dogs like that. He's trying to build something. Now, like I said, who knows until the season start? Okay, preseason was a good indication to me anyway, because they didn't look sharp. Okay. And we know preseason football is different now because they actually are not in full regime mode during preseason because of the unions, because they can't participate the way they need to. So the how would I say, the sharks are in the water. They want to know. I believe in Mike, but I just think he has not picked the right OCs over the years. Ever since Bruce Arrington left, he had Todd Haley, who was a horrible, absolutely horrible coordinator to me anyway. Don, I got someone at the door. Excuse me 1 second.
Oh, you're all right. I got you.
Yes, sir.
And as he was saying, especially with the coordinators, making sure that you have the right people around you. As I was talking about the Lions on another show, I don't believe that Dan Campbell is the greatest coach. Not yet. I hope that he becomes the greatest coach and be able to, become a great coach and for years and years and years. lead the Lions into, Super Bowl berths and championships and all these different things. But it's who you surround yourself with. Mike Tomlin, before we got Dan Campbell in Detroit, I would want Mike Tomlin or someone like that to be my coach. I'd want someone such as him to lead my team because he's a real leader, a strong leader, a guy who knows how to command a room and to be able to get the most out of a room. But you got to surround yourself with the right people. And what we've done in Detroit is that we've surrounded ourselves, what I believe, with the right offensive coordinator, for sure. Ben Johnson's the guy. He's a great offensive coordinator. Aaron Glenn I think Aaron Glenn now has some things coming together for him. But as I was saying, surrounding yourself with the right people. You got to make sure you surround yourself with the right people. And as you were saying, Mike Tomlin just hadn't put that right offensive coordinator around him.
And without the offensive coordinator, that's a necessary piece that he's been lacking since, I guess, the last 2 or 3 good years before Ben started on his decline. That's why he was losing so much against New England in the AFC Championship. And those windows, opportunity, they could be here in one season and close. Just like that. And we're looking at Kansas City. Take them for example. They haven't outplayed anybody in the Super Bowl, but they capitalized on their opportunity. Each time. I'm talking about the most critical time of the game. That's when that boy make a touchdown. Okay. Then the defense will come and make a big play, And Mike Tomlin and his regime lately has missed the mark, putting a competitive team on the field, as always. Okay. But is that enough? He's consistent, but is that enough?
We've mentioned Mike Tomlin a bunch here.
Yes, sir.
And as we look at the coaches in your division, I'm just going to go with the top 2 coaches I think the top 2, I don't think anybody's going to argue with Mike Tomlin and Harbaugh as the top 2 coaches in the division. Now, absolutely. Harbaugh, like Tomlin, has 1 ring.
Yes, sir.
Lately, I would say, I don't even want to say that much. So I'm just going to go ahead and ask the question. Who's the better coach, Harbaugh or Tomlin?
I think Mike, because Mike is more relatable to his players. And that could be opinionated also.
Sure, that's your opinion. Because Harbaugh relates to the whole Harbaugh family.
Harbaugh family.
Me being a Michigan fan, I know that Harbaugh family, I don't know personally, but the Harbaughs, they relate with those players too. And just listening to Harbaugh, Baltimore Harbaugh, John Harbaugh, talking about Lamar Jackson to come in his defense here a couple of days ago. I don't know if you heard it or not. They're talking about Lamar Jackson, can he take the next step? And John Harbaugh comes right to his defense, just like a Mike Tomlin would. So I think that as far as being relatable to players, John Harbaugh, Mike Tomlin, that's why you want to play for a guy like that. That's why you want to play for a guy like Dan Campbell. And that's what you have to do, especially this day and age. You can't just curse these guys and do all these things like they used to do back in the day.
That's what makes them great, though. Okay, they know that's what makes them great coaches. That's why they still coach it on the same team, because they can tear people down, then edify and lift them back up in the same instant. You see what I'm saying? That's why each players that come from either one of those regimes always have high conversation, high esteemed conversations about their coaching. Okay, both of them are defensive coaches, though. Harbaugh specialty defense, okay? And in this league, we have seen the elevation or how even the rules committee lean totally towards the offense to bring points, to bring viewership to the NFL, to the Shield, okay? And I don't think both of those coaches. Now, getting back to the original question, who I think is better, my personal preference, of course, is Mike Tomlin.
Right.
But both of them, I think, are A1 and A2. There's really too much not of a difference between the two of them and the results. Okay. Both of them will have a great season. but get right to the playoffs and do it. And I'm especially Jim. Jim had a running game last year that was killing the league.
Mm-hmm.
And it kept Jackson healthy because it wasn't all on Jackson. Mind you, prior, Jackson was the team. He told the team and was capable of doing it because he's that talented of a player that he's the difference maker. He's the trendsetter. Okay? But between the two of them, both of them got the same problem. They've been there, their tenure's been long. Both of them are Super Bowl winners, but both of them have great ownership. And when you have organizational ownership and great organizational leadership, it reflects back in the product that they constantly put on the field. And on the field, every year, they put a competitive team that's going most likely going to make it to the playoffs. But you got to capitalize on those moments. You got Harbaugh got an MVP quarterback.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
MVP.
And he has not capitalized and put his quarterback in the best position to succeed. Okay?
But now Tomlin has a former MVP quarterback as well.
Yeah. And so I think that's going to make his year better because Pittsburgh gets better during the year. Okay? Once they start grinding. So I think with Russell's leadership ability, with Russell's, and I'm talking about on the field, a lot of people want to talk, he's not a likable guy, and sometimes I say to people when they say that, success breeds and fosters sometimes an environment of envy and jealousy. You know what I'm saying?
But let me stop you right there for a second, because you mentioned something earlier about Sean Payton.
Mm-hmm.
How Sean Payton disrespected Russell Wilson. And I remember that very well because it actually happened, that particular instance, when they were playing Detroit, because they made a big deal of it. So I remember that whole thing. But listening, doing a little bit more research about Sean Payton, Russell Wilson, it's obvious Sean Payton didn't want Russell Wilson. He didn't want him in Denver. We can agree to that. He didn't want him. He didn't like him. He don't like that quarterback.
He didn't like him. His system that, and see, here goes Sean Payton. He's a system coach. Okay? He got a system that he wants to run. And he got a system,
but he got a system he wants to run, but talking about that personality and relatability that we were talking about earlier. Sean Payton put a stop to, because I guess Russell Wilson had his own locker room and all these different things. It's like, so I kind of can get with Sean Payton on that, because you can't have players having their own offices off to the side.
Absolutely.
Coaches have their offices.
No, I agree
with have their offices.
Coming in as the coach and letting everybody know I'm the coach. Okay? Right. There's a difference between the coach and the player, father and son. You see what I'm saying?
And I ain't mad at Sean Payton for that, but to your point, to be able to relate to these people, these are grown men. You're not college. These are grown men. You can't just talk to a grown man any type of way. And to your good point, the way Russell Wilson handled it was phenomenal.
It was phenomenal.
He handled it perfectly, because if he had handled it any other way,
they would have destroyed them.
It'd have been a big problem.
It would have been a big problem. And then the way he handled it, remember, sometimes our greatest defense, which could be our offense, is silence. Okay? Because you're going to change the narrative by defending your position, even though you being the one persecuted. Okay? He probably not got another chance if he would have handled the opposite demeanor, because then you would have all the media who has the way of swaying the public opinion and influence the even though it could be a skewed lie. Okay? He handled it with humility, and that's when I knew he was saved. I'm saved. Jesus Christ would have had touched me on the shoulder at that moment for the way he was making me a public. I'm serious, because he publicly embarrassed the man. Okay,
in front of them 60,000 fans at Ford Field, and the millions watching.
Wife, his teammates. Okay, and he swallowed it, okay? But, and then he swallowed because he was thinking, I'm still going to get my money, okay?
But you say you telling the truth. That's right.
That's
That's
right.
right. So he's smart. So I do respect him for that.
I'm
And so,
respecting for that.
as we come to our now I got to ask the question because this is your division and we're
Yes,
kind of
sir.
going over the division. Two-part question.
Okay.
First part of the question is, what do you want to happen in the division? And I want you to just rank the teams. Of course, you want the Steelers first.
Yes.
Who do you want second, third, and fourth in the division? Who do you want?
Well,
not what you think is going to happen. What do you want?
I want your man from Cleveland, the quarterback. What's his name?
Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson. I would love for him to redeem his physical prowess and athleticism as a quarterback on the field. So I would love for him to have a good year. You know what I mean? But unfortunately, the price of sin, will totally destroy people. And it takes a long time to recover from it, So definitely on that, I'm rooting for him on a personal, professional level to have a great season, okay? To come back to that form that he was in Texas, okay? And a lot of people don't understand what really went on, but that was an internal mechanism that he became the fall guy for the face, okay, of all that was going on, Then you got Joe Burrows. If Joe's healthy, he just got bad ownership of Paul Brown. It would be no question to me, I'll pay Chase. Okay. When you have talent on your team, what your number one receiver and your number two receiver are both number ones.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Chase is a apex number one player. His counterpart is an A1, not as dogmatic as Chase on the field, but you got a number one, okay? Who's your number two? It takes pressure off your quarterback. And they proved that year they went to the – I ain't talking about no just any team. I'm talking about the Cincinnati Bengals, man. And they were one play from winning the Super Bowl, but they forgot about this dog called Darren. What's the boy? The lineman that was Hall of Fame, first ballot Hall of Famer. Donald. No, for the Rams, who made the last.
Oh yeah.
Sack in the Super Bowl. About. You see what I'm saying? Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
Aaron Donald. That's all. He ran up against an apex, once in a generation player. Okay, they would have won the Super Bowl. Okay, then we may be having a different narrative of how people view Joe Burrow. Okay, but Pittsburgh and Baltimore are still the cream in the division. The most consistency that we seek for, and they faithful in putting this product on the field. Okay, and we got a long season, 18 games if you include the bye season. Okay, that's a long season to keep these guys healthy. But if I'm Mike Tomlin, I'm rocking with Russ. Okay. Because Russ didn't have statistically the year, he didn't have a bad year last year. He was just a fall guy for a tyrant as a head coach who wanted to put his stamp on the team. Everybody know you the coach. When I walk on the job site, Donnie, everybody know who works for me, who the boss. I don't have to prove my position. Sean Payne's that kind of guy. He's got to prove his position to people all the time. That means he's a small man. You see what I'm saying? In a position of authority. Because a person of authority.
You are definitely team Russell Wilson on this whole thing between Russell Wilson and Sean Payton. Because going back to that whole situation, it's just you're giving me a different perspective on Russell Wilson because before this conversation, I'm not up or down on Russell Wilson because I'm a fan of certain people and I'm down on certain people. Russell Wilson is kind of in the middle for me. Like I can either take him or leave him. But you're giving me a different perspective because going back to the situation of how he handled that, because
I handle
Sean Payton is who Sean Payton is, and I
That's
respect him because he's a good Super Bowl winning coach. But you're giving me a whole different perspective on Russell Wilson. But can he do it on the field again?
Yes. So this will be a season for Russ that will make or break his career. Okay. So he needs to have a good season. He needs to quiet the critics by playing well and winning. Because mind you, Russ, he got a double whammy against him. He got a young man who's ready to play, who want to play. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who can make plays.
I've seen a lot of him, and I'm glad he's out of my. I'm glad he's gone.
And now he's with an organization that he know the mantra, he know the mindset, he know the temperature. He gonna get consistency. He gonna get coaching. He gonna get a personality, organizational personality that people want to win. So I think that's gonna work out for his best. And I think Pittsburgh's gonna have a pretty good season. But
they always have a pretty good season.
Yeah, they're gonna have a pretty good season. But you went on the field.
Yeah. Okay, so to end up, we gotta do it every time every preview, we gotta do this. Your AFC guys, so what's your AFC championship looking like? Who's the two teams in the AFC championship? And who's the two teams in the NFC championship? So do AFC first.
I would give the AFC, I'm gonna pick Pittsburgh because I'm biased. I'm definitely go with Baltimore because Lamar. I rock with Lamar.
Oh, Pittsburgh-Baltimore AFC championship game?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so all right. So then NFC championship, what you got?
I'm going with 49ers. They end up signing Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah, today,
Today, which was a big sign because he's a part of the catalyst to keeping that train rolling and not having to upset that train by plugging in another piece at this time. They got a team that's ready to go. So
49ers verse, come on, say it. 49ers verse who?
Come on. I'm not lost on Philly yet. Because I like Hurst. I just think his coordinating situation last year, because he won 10 games before they started losing.
Yeah.
I mean, he won 10 games.
10-1.
He was 10-1 before before they started losing and unraveling. And I think that had a whole lot to do with the head coach. But you got Green Bay. I'm waiting to see how Jordan Love gonna turn out. I just think he got hot at an awesome time last year.
He got hot in the middle of the season.
Middle of the season, man.
But see, a point that I was made on because I had another contributor. We're talking about the Lions. Mm-hmm. He made a good point. Jordan Love had a great middle of the season.
Yeah.
The beginning wasn't so great, and the end wasn't so great. That playoff game against the Cowboys, he tore it up.
Yes, sir.
So the jury's out on him.
He was playing the Cowboys. And I hate the Cowboys, but one thing about the Cowboys that have always been consistent, the bigger the game, the smaller they get. Okay? Now, back to the NFC. You can't discount your guys, the Lions, because they're a young team, man. And they done brought into Dan Campbell, okay? So because of that, they are a threat. So my three threats are Green Bay, 49ers, Philly, and Detroit. AFC, of course, is Kansas City is the top dog because they are the defending champions. I still go by bias. I'm still gonna pick Pittsburgh, okay? But anywhere else in the AFC, Miami ain't it. Buffalo's not it. Never been sold out on your boy for Buffalo, the quarterback, Allen. He turned over the balls too much, man. You just can't recover from 2-3 turnovers in critical
But my
points.
man Allen has like 50-something rushing touchdowns in the
Yeah.
past like 3 or 4 seasons. My man,
Yeah.
he's a good dude, but I mean the problem having rushing touchdowns, and being in Carolina, Cam Newton, you can't take too many hits.
Can't take too many hits. And then when you take hits, no one wants to sit down. They want to play through injury and destroy their career.
Yeah.
You know, I don't care what anybody says. Cam was the man.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Cam was like Lamar Jackson. He took the team, and bigger, took a team on his shoulder. You bought the groceries, so now I got to make the dinner. Okay. And he get a raw deal because a lot, once again, people don't like your success. The young man never been no trouble. He gives back. It's tough being in his skin. But like I said, it's football.
So who's the Super Bowl champ this year?
I'm not.
I know the season starts a week from yesterday.
I'm going with 49ers.
49ers. So 49ers to beat my guys again in the championship game?
I think so.
Because we had our chance last year, so you're going to say 49ers. But you know what? I ain't mad at you for saying the 49ers because if they got any kind of character at all, they got to redeem themselves from last year.
Yeah, they got to redeem themselves because this is what the thing that I like about the 49ers. They still got the core of their team. Trent Williams, McCaffrey, Brock, Debo, Brandon Luke. They got a nice draft choice that came in, and the tight end, I can't think of the Clark. No, it's not Clark. What's the I can see his face with his hair.
Kittle.
Kittle. You see what I'm saying? They got their core offense. Then their defense has not changed. And they picked up number 43 strong safety. Can't think of his name. Man, they're gonna be ready to go. It's just, are you gonna be healthy? And from week 12 to week 18, okay? Yeah. Them games are critical, man. Okay. Oh, yeah. Then how you managing your talent pool during that period. But they was 2 plays that I think from winning the Super Bowl. They did, they was up again. Okay, 17-7, I'm not mistaken.
2 plays from the Super Bowl. Listen, they were 2 plays from not going to Super Bowl. That's what happened. They were 2 plays from not going for my guys to go to Super Bowl. Don't get me started. Yeah. They were 2 plays, talking about 2 plays.
Well, I would say the first half, Detroit had them rocked.
Detroit, we had them beat. We just had stupid decisions.
And stop doing what got them there. Man, that play action is mean, man. When you got somebody who run that ball. That play action is mean, man. He had the 49 defense on his heel, But like again, even with that Shanahan, the fall guy was the African American defense coordinator. He wasn't the fall guy. You see what I'm saying? He put his team. Yes, sir. He put his team to win. He can't play. He can't make the play. Okay. To me, it will still go back to Mike Shanahan. Okay. But that's the great thing about sports. You leave it on the field. The best team don't always win. It's the best team at that moment. Okay. And learning how to win those crucial games. See, if Detroit had won that game against the 49ers, we'd be talking to them in a different light this year.
Oh, yeah.
It'd be different.
They stay hungry. But
that's right. You see, but I think that's going to be the catalyst to keeping them not humble, but keeping them hungry this year. They was at the mountain and looked over the mountain, just didn't take the trophy with them to the Super Bowl. You see, so
Uncle Reggie said that the AFC North is going to be won this year by not the Baltimore Ravens, but the Pittsburgh Steelers. Going to win it. And so we're going to go with that.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate you, man.
Man, I appreciate you.
And listen, this ain't the last time. We're going to call on you again in the middle of the season. I'm going to call on you again because having these conversations I think this is going to make it a little bit easier for me to grow.
Yes, sir.
And get different input, different takes from people I respect. So I appreciate you, man.
No, I appreciate you, and I do a better job with more of my research and have my paperwork.
Oh, no. You did a great, you did a job of a fan. That's what I wanted.
Yes,
a
sir.
Job of a fan.
Yeah.
That was perfect.
Yes,
appreciate you, Unc.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir. Thank you
All
for having me.
All right.
Much love and continued success, young man.